Have you ever been in a situation where you just know that you were set up to fail, where you know that evil was plotted against you and you wondered if there was any hope? Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about how there was hope in those situations, and we're also talking about Batman, the Soul of the Dragon. Hello, Devoted Geeks. Welcome to Geek Devotions, the show for devoted geeks who are devoted to letting you know that you are loved. I'm Dallas. I'm so glad you hit the play button today. If you're new to our show, we take geek pop culture items like movies, video games, and comics. We use them to let you know that you are loved. So if you don't watch past this moment at all, know this. We love you. We care about you. There is a plan and a purpose for your life. So please, don't give up. All right, so, oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. I'm wearing the wrong outfit. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. Had to switch out some new threads that we got going on at geekdevotions.com. Click on the store button hosted by Revival Signs and Banners. This shirt right here says Geek Devotions Kung Fu February in Chinese. Special thank you to our friend Reed Benson for helping us with the translation of these shirts because they're awesome. They're cool. Go pick one up. So that being said, guys, I needed to wear it because all month long it is Kung Fu February here at Geek Devotions. We're talking about Kung Fu films and we're using them to let you know there's hope and that there's someone that cares for you. Today, it's a little interesting spin because right before we decided to do this, DC put out a really interesting animated film called Batman Soul of the Dragon, which is a 1970s style Batman Kung Fu film. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it. If you want to hear my thoughts on it, or if you want to hear more thoughts on it, deeper dive on it, just hold on, subscribe to this channel because our friend Kevin, the Dapper Man, is going to be doing a full review on this film for us here in a couple weeks. And I love Kevin. He's an amazing guy. He actually hooked us up with the copy of this movie so we could do this devotion for you guys. Now, I do want to warn you guys that this devotion does have spoilers for the film. Pretty major spoilers. But it fits so well and it really fits into what I want to talk to you guys about. In this film, there's a lot of flashbacks to Bruce Wayne training in a secret martial arts temple where he was trained along with Richard Dragon, Shiva, and the Bronze Tiger. Now, what I love about it is all the characters, they really fit the 1970s, and the Richard Dragon, they did change him quite a bit, so now he is basically being played by Bruce Lee. That's just who he is. But in this martial arts temple, what they discover is there's this door, and behind this door is a gateway that keeps an evil spirit locked away, the Naga. And there's a group of individuals, a secret organization, who want to release the Naga. They believe that it is destined for him to be released and to take over the world. So the movie flash forwards back and forth between these flashback scenes and back to the present day in the 70s, where Bruce is teaming up with these people, individuals again, because this organization has captured the key to be able to open the door at last. Throughout portions of it, they talk about how there is a chosen individual who the Great Naga is going to need to use in order to take over the world. And they have this boy, or this man now, who they basically have groomed to be the person who's gonna be the Naga spirit host. Like that's what is put out there. And at the end of the film, what you discover is he is not the person. He is not the one that was meant to be the tool of evil. It was Richard Dragon, Bruce Lee's like character, and he's in the midst of fighting him, and he's like, "You were the one. You were meant to be my host. That's why you were trained. That's why you are the type of person you are." And Richard Dragon says something really interesting. See, he's in the midst of this, and he's fighting the Naga, and he goes, "You know what? If I'm strong enough to be your host, I'm strong enough to defeat you." He understood that whereas he was meant for evil, he could be used for good. And he wasn't going to allow the Naga spirit to take over. He wasn't going to allow it to use him for evil. This brings us to the point of our devotion today. You will face times in your life where it's just evil. And there are situations set up, the enemy is set up to destroy you and to tear you down and to do terrible things around you, to people in your life, using you to cause more harm even. But you don't have to allow it. In the book of Genesis, you hear the story of Joesph, and he goes through some terrible things, going all the way back to dealing with his brothers who, first off, tried to make it look like he died, sold him to slavery, and told his dad, "Hey, he's dead, don't worry about it." And from that point forward, he went through trial after trial after trial, each time finding himself faithful to God and not falling flat. What ends up happening, though, towards the end of the book of Genesis, is that he finds himself in a position of power, where he's not only able to help himself, but he's able to help others. He's found himself, if things had not happened, if he never put in certain positions every step along the way, he would not have been able to save the entire country from a famine that was destroying everyone. And in the midst of it, his brothers have to come to him for food. They don't realize who he is until it's too late. And they're scared. They're like, oh my gosh, what is he gonna do? I mean, we sold him to slavery. We're terrible individuals. Surely he's gonna kill us, or he's gonna do something else to us. And Joesph says something fascinating. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. See, Joesph understood that while, yes, there were evil things that had taken place in his life and terrible things that happened to him, he was devoted to God. And his devotion to God led him to compassion, it led him to mercy, it led him to grace. And those are things that he himself should turn over and reflect back to others. So while, yes, you may be going through some terrible, terrible situations, I want you to understand that these evil situations that you're going through, these terrible things that are taking place in your life right now, don't allow them to define you and make you a victim. Whereas lean into God and trust him to go get you through the process. It won't be easy, it won't be quick. Joesph went through a lifetime of terrible events before he found himself in this situation. But if you lean into God as you go through these terrible things, what you will find is that you are walking on grace and mercy, love and hope. And you're able to turn those back to those who possibly meant to do you wrong. And you will find yourself helping more people than you could ever help before. Bringing hope to the hopeless, bringing victory to those who have been victims. All because you leaned into God and you decided you weren't going to allow yourself to be a victim. Richard Dragon decided not to be a host for evil. Rather, he was going to use what he had been given to save the world. What will you do with what you've been given? Will you allow your life circumstances to victimize you? Or will you use it to help others? Well, guys, that's your devotion for the week, and we hope that it's encouraged you and challenged you, and we hope that maybe it stirred something up inside of you. If you want us to pray with you, please reach out to us. We want to pray with you as you just try to figure out what your next step with your walk with God looks like. You can reach out to us on any of our social media, obviously, but we want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you thought of this devotion. How did it challenge you? How did it encourage you? What are you doing to live this out in your life in real time? Your comments could find their way into the lives of other people and encouraging them as they are trying to walk this walk too. Your question of the week is, it's really interesting because in this movie, there's a lot of deep cut characters that I didn't even, like, I've been reading comic books for years, I didn't realize. Like, for example, one person in this film is actually Bane's dad. No idea. Somebody had to tell me that. So, what deep cut character would you love to see pop up in a film today? Let me know. Leave comments down below and let us know your deep cut character. I want to also encourage you guys to check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our podcast, Comm Talk by Geek Devotions, where we have new content coming out about every week, every other week. But that being said, most important thing, we want you to know we love you and care about you. Geek Devotions exists to encourage people like you. And if there's someone in your life that you feel like can be encouraged by this devotion, please share it with them. Send this devotion to them and pray with them, encourage them. Let this be a jumping off point for you to help somebody else. Till next time, stay devoted, peace and love.